Hello, I have exciting news. It's here. Look how pretty. The map. This is so pretty. I hope I like it. I hope I like it. Look at that. Two maps. We're gonna be reading The Fourth Wing in this video. I don't know when I think I'm gonna start this today, if I'm being honest. I'm reading The Right Move right now, so I want to finish that and then I'll start this one. I'm so excited. But this is the start to a new vlog. Hello. I'm 14 pages into our beautiful, beautiful book. I wanted to give you my thoughts thus far. I'm also on my phone. The camera's upstairs and there's no way I'm going upstairs right now. Violet is our main character. I don't know who the main love interest is. There's been two men brought up and I don't know how to say it. Xaden. It's with an X, so that's kind of what's tripping me up. I don't know if it's Xaden or... I'm not even gonna try. Okay. But I feel like Dane is gonna be like the good guy, just a friend, and then this other guy who's like the guy we want to stay away from, he's the one that we're gonna like. I'm gonna put my bookmark in and I'm going to go to brunch, so I will come back later. It's too early to really have any real thoughts, so. All right, I got my hair done and I really love the color. I don't like it when I curl my hair. I'm waiting for it to flatten out, if I'm being honest. But I wanted to give a quick update. It's a really quick read, like it's not too hard to grasp or understand. New fantasy world to me, and I feel like when you do read newer worlds, they can kind of be confusing. This one's not so far. I can tell there's a lot of like terminology that I'm gonna have to get used to and like what I'm reading, but the first chapter I enjoyed. It kind of dragged out. Not dragged out. The chapters are long. The chapters are not one of those like flip and the next chapter is like 2 pages later. The first chapter I think was like 21 pages, which is not a big deal, but it took me a little bit to read the first chapter because I was still like not really grasping what was going on. Like I'm still getting used to the characters' names and all of that, but I'm on chapter like 4 now. And I really like it. One thing that I thought was really funny, I think it was in chapter 1 or 2, I can't remember. One of the characters, so all of the characters' names are like Violet. Then we have like, I don't know how to say it still, like I'm gonna say Xaden, the ex guy, whatever. And then we have Mira, Rhiannon, and then we have a Dylan. And I'm like, what? But you know what I love? This isn't a spoiler, really. Like this random character named Dylan is introduced and then he dies. And I'm like, well, I should have guessed that because his name was Dylan. Like they're not gonna keep, in a fantasy book, the Dylans, the Daniels, I feel like the very stereotypical names are just not gonna last very long. Dylan did not last long. I don't really have any thoughts or anything right now. I'm about to film my June wrap up. That's it. So I will come back with more thoughts later. Nothing major has happened, but I'm really loving Violet. I love the way she's described. I love her attitude. I love her, like, she's kind of a nerd, but she knows how to like put up her own. Like she's tough. Oh my goodness. It's early. Say hi.
Heyo.
Brock and I are going to Fairplay and then I'll kind of hang out. I think there's a cafe or somewhere to get coffee, so I'm gonna hang out there. I got my nails done yesterday. Brock's head is in the way. He keeps focusing. Okay, anyway, there's little flowers. I'm gonna have probably a lot of time to read, so I'll catch up on Fourth Wing and let you guys know my thoughts. All right, I dropped Brock off. He's doing a podcast and like running with a friend, and it's in Fairplay, Colorado, and I'm at this cute little, it's really hard to see, cute little log cabin coffee place. So I'm gonna go inside there and read because I tried reading on the way here, like during that hour and a half, and I got so car sick within the first like 10 minutes, so that's great. But my friend Sarah actually just texted me and she was like, hey, I'm like almost done with Fourth Wing, absolutely love it. Like that's what I've heard, everyone just loves it. Man, the lighting is just absolute shit right now. Okay, it's like 45 minutes later. I did not end up reading a lot in there. I read like one chapter, so I'm on chapter like 6 now. It was more restaurant style, less cafe. So I ended up ordering, which I shouldn't have done. Like I wasn't even that hungry, but you know, I felt like a little obligated. So I got a latte, which was really good. And then I ended up getting a breakfast burrito and I ate the whole thing. And now I feel like really sick. But it was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. It was delicious. I just shouldn't have done that. We were planning on going to lunch in like an hour and a half. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be hungry. But I'm gonna sit in the car and just read for a little bit. What has happened right now in Fourth Wing? Basically, they're like starting classes right now. I'm a little confused on all of the quadrants and like the terminology. It's like there's 4 wings, there's 3 sections within each wing, like 3 squads within each section, and I'm like, what? I think I said that wrong too, but like I just am confused on where everyone's at. Like I think she's in the 4th wing, obviously, but I don't know why. Like is that like a ranking? Like I have no clue. Yeah, so we're just gonna keep reading. I'm just gonna hang out in the car, put you guys over here. I am home and I'm going to lay down on this bed and read. I feel like even though that we went to Fairplay and I really didn't have anything to do because Brock was doing stuff, I really had no time to read. Like I think I'm on chapter like 6 or 7 still. So now I'm just gonna binge read the whole night. It's like 5 p.m. That's all I have to do tonight. Let's get going. Quick update, I'm on page 92, but I'm realizing some things, and I kind of knew this just from the beginning chapters, but let's go over it. So we have Violet, and then we have Dane, and Dane and Violet grew up together, but Dane is kind of like in charge of her at this dragon school. And then we have, I'm still saying Xaden. Xaden is kind of the bad guy of the book. Long story long, Violet's mother basically killed Xaden's parents through like rebellion and stuff. So there's a lot that goes on there. There's a lot of like history, but it's a love triangle, okay? And you can tell where it's going from the very first time Dane is mentioned. You can tell that they love each other in like a friendship kind of way. Dane might not love her the way Violet loves him, but Violet and Xaden just had their first like interaction, and Xaden is like telling everyone and like known that he doesn't like Violet's family. So like Violet is scared that he's gonna kill her, whatever. They have their first conversation. Xaden doesn't kill her, and she's like, why didn't he kill me? Okay, so I know who she's supposed to end up with, like who she's going to probably, because it's always the bad boy, right? It's always the bad boy. You can already tell her like character development and stuff is changing. Dane is like warning her. He's like, you need to stay away from these certain people. And her conversation with Xaden the night before, Xaden was like, you need to throw daggers at these people. You don't need to stay away from them. You need to like go after them and kill them. Basically on page 92 in her head, it's like the advice is so different from Xaden's throw a few daggers at his head approach. So her and Dane are having this conversation and she's already realizing how different Xaden is. I love tension. I love it when you can tell like who she's gonna end up with, but you gotta like play along like she's gonna end up with this other guy. Poor Dane. I just know she's not gonna end up with him. I don't want her to either. I want the bad boy. Hello, it is the next day. So last night I actually ended up reading to page 170, chapter 15. You guys, I'm loving it. Making me feel the same way I do when I read like Sarah J. Maas or Jennifer Armentrout. It feels so real. It feels so real. That's what makes it so upsetting that it's not real. I do want to like talk a little bit about it, just about the world building going on, because the world building is done in such a good, unique way. Like, it's integrated in a sense where you don't feel like you're reading info dumps, you know? And like for example, when Violet gets like anxious or nervous, she starts like spewing facts. She like is just so smart and full of knowledge that she just like, when she's nervous, she just starts like studying. And it's actually like a really unique way, I feel like, to put in like world building and to learn more about the world that we're reading about. Pretty sure they just got finished, or they're in the middle of the threshing, which is like when you go into this big open field and like a dragon chooses you, or you choose a dragon, or you die. That's what just happened. There was this big, like, it actually kind of was funny the way it was described. It reminded me of the show Wipeout. Like, do you guys remember that show? Like with the big like rubber balls, or like the rock climbing walls and stuff. They had to like pass this gauntlet, I can never say that word. A gauntlet, which is like this obstacle course, and she like kind of had to, since Violet's like really small and described as very like fragile, she had to figure out like a way to scale this wall, and she ended up like using her own technique without like it wasn't considered cheating, but like she kind of skimmed the line of cheating her way through. And then because she got through that, she was able to go to the threshing, find her own dragon if one were to choose. And apparently in this world, the dragons are very picky. They only choose riders who are like super, super confident and knowledgeable, and the dragons just seem like very like strict on like who they accept. I'm taking my time with this book, you know, like I don't want to rush it, but I kind of want to get like 100 more pages in. If I'm on 170, I want to get to like 270 tonight. That would make me very happy. Hello, I have just been reading for the past three hours, maybe 2 hours, on page 270. So I did end up reading another 100 pages, and it is getting, I mean, not that it wasn't good, but it is like so fucking good. Kind of not seeing the chemistry between them, but I'm really liking the banter, and I'm liking the protectiveness claiming that he's done on her, I guess you could say, because like her dragon and his dragon are bonded mates, like they're mates. So now technically like Xaden and her are kind of like bonded in a way. Like if something happens to her, the same will happen to him. So whatever. I think it's wonderful. It's very easy to read. I'm rereading some of the parts because sometimes I like forget like a name in my head, and I have to like remember back to what that name like correlated to. I really wish I like tabbed this one. It's definitely going to be a reread for me when the second one comes out in November. Like I'm going to have to reread it, tab it, maybe highlight, and then read the second one because I didn't start tabbing this one. That is it for now. I hope to finish it tomorrow or the next day. It kind of just depends on work schedule and how much I get to read. Good morning. I am almost done with Fourth Wing. You guys, the hype is so real. Like this book makes me happy and like more willing to trust book talk. That's what it makes me. Ooh. So I'm on chapter 32, page 407 out of 490 something. So I'll probably finish it tonight. I really don't want to. I already pre-ordered the second book. I do think the subplot of romance in this is done so well. Like it's not romance heavy at all. There was a spicy scene, and I know that there's probably going to be one more. There's a lot of sexual tension, like between Xaden and Violet. The tension is just beautiful. Not perfect for each other because no couple is perfect for each other, but I think they balance each other out really well. We still know that Xaden is hiding a lot. He has a lot of secrets. We still don't know a ton about him, like in his past, but I hope that book 2 kind of expands on him and his life and what he went through as a child, and like the rebellion and his dad, whatever he went through. Violet is the coolest, most unique character. She kind of has this chronic pain going on with like her ligaments, and like she's not as strong as like the average person, yet she makes up for it in her power, which we find out what that is, and it's just like so her, and it like fits her so well. And I thought that the one spicy scene was actually really funny. I mean, like, it was good. Like, it was written really well, but there were elements to it that made me laugh because I was like, this is so perfectly them. Like, they're so chaotic and, like, just all hell breaks loose, and it's very, very fun. But yeah, I basically binge read, like, 100 pages last night. So I probably will finish it tonight. But I really don't want to, you guys. I cannot wait to just binge, like, scroll on some fan art. I did it, like, maybe a week before I read this book, so I saw some, but that's it. Like, I'm really excited to just look at fan art. You guys, I finished it. It was so good. I'm gonna set you guys up over here so I can really start talking about it. Let's start with the plot. Not the best writing, in my opinion. Like, there were definitely some parts where I was like, you could have worded that way differently. And there were some plot holes that I think will get filled in later books. So I'm not saying that's not like me criticizing it, honestly, because like it's supposed to be 5 books, I'm pretty sure. So I'm giving her time. I gave it 5 stars. I think that rating could change to 4 depending on the second book. Like, if the second book is better, I'm giving that one 5 stars, or like 4.5, and maybe this one 4. Like, I do think it fluctuates between a 4 and a 5. I could just give it 4.5, but on my Goodreads, I wanted to say 5 stars because I love it. And definitely I like reevaluating. I'm going to reread this in November so I can kind of like gather my thoughts again and like remember the plot and what's happening and everything going on. And then I will read the second book when it comes out in November. Coming back to the plot really quick, it's a little predictable. The end, people were like, it ends on a cliffhanger. I'm like, yeah, it kind of did. Like, it technically, likely it's a cliffhanger, but I like saw it coming from a mile away. Like, the second something happened to Violet, I was like, this is how she's gonna survive. I know it. And that was the plot twist. So I did guess it, and not that I'm saying everyone will, but I did think it was a little bit predictable, but not in a bad way. Like, I was eating it up. I thought the smut was a little like watered down. I think I've just read too much smut, if I'm being honest. Every time I read some books with smut in it, I'm like, okay, let's get to the plot. Like, I'm into it now for like the plot more less than I am for the sex. So wonderful. I cannot wait for book 2. Thank you for coming along with me. I think it does live up to the TikTok, book talk, Instagram Reels hype. I will see you guys in the next video.